Outstanding, outstanding. So what was your inspiration for bringing the Challenger program to East Meadow? How did that happen? Hey everybody, it's Dan Ratkowicz, and it's episode 15 of the Helping Hands podcast. Super excited about today's podcast. We're here with the director over at East Meadow Baseball Softball Association and the Challenger Division, Lee Cook. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time and stopping by.
My pleasure.
If this is the first time you're checking out the Helping Hands podcast, this is a podcast that is spotlighting people doing great things in our community, trying to blanket out some of the negative that's out there and put a focus on the positivity and the optimism that's out there. And Lee, I want to get into a little bit about your inspiration for bringing the Challenger program to East Meadow Baseball. But before we do that, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what the Challenger Division is?
Okay, the Challenger Division is a division of Little League for children and young adults now with special needs. Anybody can play, the most severely challenged person all the way up to our Special Olympics teams. We have 6 teams, so there's a place for everybody to play.
Okay, and you play right here at the complex?
We play all of our home games here. We play most of our games here at our complex here.
And you travel too?
We do. We play home and away games with teams from Massapequa, Plainview, Sachem.
Right.
Well, it's called now Central Suffolk, but they're out east there. And we're having a tournament this Saturday where all the Challenger programs that I know of are going to be coming here to East Meadow to play.
Outstanding, outstanding. So what was your inspiration for bringing the Challenger program to East Meadow? How did that happen?
Well, I was just a rookie director down here when my son was 5 years old, and they came to us from Little League International that they wanted to start a program for special needs, children with special needs, and I volunteered to help. And my commissioner said, "You take it, you grow it, it's your baby, and start it." I started with 2 players, and now I have almost 100 players every season.
Wow.
We play April, May, June, September, and October.
Okay.
And free of charge.
Free of charge. So no
fee.
Charge to any.
I've never charged a penny, since 1988.
Right.
So 89 we actually started. Yeah.
And how does a typical game work? Because I know that you partner up some of the student athletes with buddies, and what is a typical game or inning look like?
It depends on the ability of the player. We have different rules for the different levels. At my entry level, my most severely challenged level, we have a buddy that we assign to the player, and they play alongside the player, and they give him whatever assistance is needed. Okay, so we have teams from our regular Little League programs that work alongside as buddies. We have the high school girls softball and boys baseball programs that work alongside as buddies, and we assign a team each week, a different team as buddies, to come down and work alongside these kids. And the most special thing about this program is teaching the children without disabilities to care and give back to the children with disabilities. So that's what's the most special thing about our program.
Right, and they can help out, and they can have an impact on both. I think both players can have an impact on each other.
They do. They do.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from former players? That, I mean, it's got to be overwhelming. Some of the stories that.
It's great. It's great, and I have some of these kids who, when they first came to me, they were so severely challenged that they really hardly could function. You couldn't really communicate with them, and now some of these kids are actually working. They're working in Home Depot, and they're out there and they're working. Some of them still play for me,
right? And
they have jobs. They have real jobs, but they're all special needs kids.
Is there an age limit to how?
No. We don't age out.
Okay.
We don't age out. We start at 5, and we don't age out.
Okay. When are the games typically played?
Most of our games are played here on our East Meadow Little League Baseball Complex, Sunday mornings, 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
And how many games do you have going on like a typical Sunday?
Well, I have six. I have 6 of my teams play every Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've got to be running around like.
I do. I go from one field to the next, making sure everything's working properly and running well.
Right.
When I started with 2 kids, so I was on the field with the kids all the time, and for many years I was on the fields with the kids. Now I have so many players, so many kids that I have coaches and more and more coaches that they're on the fields with the kids, and I go from one field to the next, just making sure everything's running smooth.
How did it grow? Tell me about like how it went from 2 players to what did you say? You have over 100 players now?
Yeah, well, 90. I have 97 players this year. I go to SEPTA meetings, special ed PTA meetings, and different special ed fairs and resource fairs, and tell them about our program. And in word of mouth, it gets out.
Was it a gradual thing, or did like all of a sudden like
gradual? Yeah, I didn't have 100 players. I've had over 100 players every year, but I haven't had it overnight. I started with 2 players,
right?
And for the first, I guess maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years, we actually played just one team.
Right.
We had one team, then we went to 2 teams, and now I have 6.
It's got to be extremely fulfilling knowing the joy and the memories that you're helping to create for these students that wouldn't have an opportunity to do it.
It's amazing. I'm blessed to be able to do it. I love it, and I love being able to do this for these kids and for these families, because when I first go to these parents and they see them and they say, well, my child can't play.
Right.
My child can't play ball. It's impossible. But I say, yeah, no, they can. They play at their own level.
So for a parent out there that might be a little hesitant, protective, they don't want somebody to get hurt, or they don't want to, how either physically, emotionally, however, what would you say to them about, trying the program out or
try it? You have nothing to lose. We actually play with a rubber ball. It looks like it's a real softball, but it's not hard. It's made out of rubber. And we mold the program around the needs of the children. So at the different levels, there are different rules. 3 of my teams play real baseball and softball rules, balls and strikes, where they pitch to each other. My next level up, the coaches pitch to the players, and then my more severely challenged team, the coaches pitch, and we have buddies for each player. Each player gets a buddy.
How would someone get involved? So either a player or if somebody that wants to volunteer as a buddy, how?
Call me or email me, Lee at embsa.net for East Meadow Baseball Softball Association, embsa.net, and or Challenger at embsa.net, and you're welcome to come down any week and play.
Okay. And we'll put all the links and the email address and Lee's contact information in the comments in the section, so you can get in touch with Lee in the program to sign up, either to help or to be a part of the program. Lee, one of the things that we usually talk about in the podcast towards the end is we'll talk about the question of the day, something that we can kind of throw out there to everybody. Could be about what we're talking about or just completely random. Is there anything out there that you want to ask?
That I want to ask.
It could be around the program, or it could be around baseball. Your choice.
My choice. Wow. Well, I'm just interested if anybody's interested in helping out, and if I can help anybody. I'm here. We're here for you. If we can help you, we're here.
Okay.
So,
is there anything else that we missed that you wanna make sure that we bring up? And
well, the most special thing about the program is the interaction between the buddies and our players. Relationships develop over the years, they come back every week. My players want the same buddy every week or something, or they make relationships. And even if they don't get the same buddy every week, if I have a different group come the next week, the next year when these buddies do it, they remember the kids, and the kids want these same people, and players. They just want people to play with them.
Right.
They're just kids, and they just want to play.
Right. How are you with volunteers? Do you have a
I can use volunteers.
Okay.
I can use the buddies.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my biggest challenge is getting buddies. But thank God I have our baseball program, East Meadow Baseball Softball. We have our teams from our regular program that buddy. I have Kellenberg High School. I have East Meadow High School. I have East Meadow High School boys, East Meadow High School girls. They take turns and they come, and so we get it covered.
All right. So if you're out there and you want to participate in the program, you want to help out, you can have an impact on a bunch of people and families and do some extra out there. We'll get in contact with Lee. I appreciate you stopping by, and we're stopping by your house here,
and it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
Perfect day. If you enjoyed the content in this podcast, please like it and share it on social media. That's how we can grow and we can spread the positivity and the optimism. And Lee, thank you so much for everything that you're doing for our community and for East Meadow Baseball and all these student athletes.
Dan, thank you for giving us the exposure.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.